All right, all in place. So it sits really well on its face as well, which is always good. If I let go, it wants to run forwards. It's got a lot more front weight than it had. But yeah, as far as legs go, don't even notice it. Hey, how's it going? So I got a few requests on like how to do this, so I figured I may as well make a quick video. Yeah, let's get started. So, battery boxes. So I just made this from an old MSP pack that a mate gave me. His name's Stefan, same name as mine. Pretty crazy, I know. And yeah, so it was smashed up, and it's 100 volts. I only needed 72 volts. So these are two parallel packs of 10S, which is 36 volt. So there's two of them. So together they make 72 volt. Apart, they're 36. So I wanted to keep it this way because as 36, it runs with a lot of other stuff. So this scooter's 36 volts. This skateboard is 36 volts. This is 52, unfortunately, but this one is 72, but the rear packs is 36 and 36. So 72 at the front, 72 at the other side, and then they run two packs of 36 in series. So obviously 72 volts is high voltage. It's pretty high and up there as far as dangerousness. I made a little, let me get this going. I made a little bit just here that these actually sit in. So it does a fairly good, I've ridden through a lot of water and it does a fairly good job of sealing it when it's in there. And then this just holds it in place so it'll stay there without getting in the way. And yeah, so pretty much all you got to do with this sort of stuff is, so this is the pack that I made, and I made this little thing as well. Just makes it easier. When I'm on the skateboard, it's got a pretty terrible, well, this one doesn't have a USB port, but if the remote dies or something, you're kind of screwed. So I made this. It's got a 12 volt socket, a little multimeter thingy, and a switch to turn it on. It lights up, it's nice. It works from 24 volts to 60 volts, and it puts 10 amps at 12 volts out. So I can take this camping, and like it powers all of my stuff. Like can charge laptops, and blow up an airbed with the air pump. And just about everything. I run lights off it and absolutely everything. It's really good. So I made it so it just connects straight in like this. Just like that. Bam. And then you turn it on and it'll tell me what voltage it is. It's 41 volts, so it's pretty much fully charged. Definitely charged enough either way. So then let's say I use it on the unicycle, which isn't fully charged at the moment. So I'll go 41.3, so I'll just disconnect that. So 41.3, and then let's connect it to this one. Oh, so 40. If I plug this in, it'll be red saying it needs to be charged. So I usually charge them, connect them up when they're the same voltage. Worst case scenario though, these packs on the back are 60 amp fuses, and this pack I've put a 30 amp fuse. So if I connect them and this one is too highly charged and this one is too discharged, all of the power is going to try and rush from this one into that one, and if it's more than 20 amps or 30 amps, whatever I put it in, it will blow and it will be useless. So I use there's a 20 amp in there. So if it exceeds 20 amps, this little puppy will pop, and then I'll be safe and I'll be okay. The BMS in here, I think, is a 30 amp BMS, but it's only like as an additional range kind of pack, so I'm never really pulling hard off it. And if I do pull hard, it's got all the other packs to give what it needs, and this will just be a little extra. But if I pull too hard, it'll pop the fuse, and I'm fine. So it's kind of nice to know. So yeah, I usually have this stacked right there, and then just have the power cables just routed through there, and it's actually really nice. That just goes up underneath. I don't notice it unless I sit down, and then instead of having my feet here, I have to have them here. So I don't really notice it too much, and it let me do 118 Ks instead of my normal 77. So then with the skateboard, I usually keep this thing connected, particularly for my last board, because the last board's battery was off the BMS, and this will tell me the voltage. So it said it was dead when this will tell me what it's actually at. I don't need it on this one because I'm doing it after the BMS as far as the cable is connected. So the cable is connected after the BMS. So the BMS will just discharge half as quick, like the battery pack in here. So it'll know what's going on, which is really nice. Also don't think this is a smart one, so I don't think it matters too much. But yeah, so I pretty much usually just have this just pop down. I'm not gonna go to all the details because I can't be bothered. But yeah, that usually sits there. That'll pop up, and so I kind of strap it down. Same with that. And yeah, I'll just use something like this, just to make the cable a bit longer. So yeah, I connect that. That's, you always want to check. 41.3. And it's probably gonna be pretty close. I don't think it was completely charged, but it was pretty damn close. There we go, 41.5. So that's actually more charged. So 41.6, look at that. So it's within 0.3, 0.2 volts. So when I connect these puppies, see it drops down to 1. So they're normalizing and equalizing between the two. So it dropped the difference. This one's a bit less charged, that's a bit more. Now they're even. And they'll be pushing a tiny bit of power. So the cables won't get warm or anything because it's really not that much. And that would usually just sit, just up there, and then that would go like all the way back there. So it's out of my way, and I'll usually ratchet it down nice and snug. And then it sits about there, so I don't notice it with my foot, which is nice. So, and if you're wanting to do, let's get a little bit more complicated whilst I'm doing this anyway. So if you're wanting to do different voltages, say, this scooter, for instance, this scooter is 52 volt, which is a little annoying because obviously this is 36 volt, and I got two 36 volt packs. Oh yeah, also may as well mention while I'm here, so two 36 volts, you can just run them both into each other, and then, yeah, into the skateboard. So I could get double the range of the skateboard, or I could get 3 times the range of the skateboard if I just keep stacking them on top of each other. So it's pretty much endless. So like you just keep making these, you can just keep stacking more and more batteries up and just use like, whatever batteries. So this little pack here is what I made for the scooter. So I made sure the amp hours were the same for the little pack. It's a 4S. So adding 4S to 10S to make a 14S, which I believe is what that, I'm pretty sure that's what that is. If I'm getting this all right, it was a while ago since I made this, so I may be a little off with my my S's. But yeah, so pretty much I just do this, right? I get my 10S 36 volt, and then I'll connect it in series with, God, they're dirty plugs, with my 4S. So it's going positive to negative, positive out, negative out, into this guy, which just to see what's going on. Let's see what the voltage is at. So we got 57.6. A fully charged 52 volt battery is, I believe, 58 volts. So that's pretty damn close. So yeah, that is what you just connect straight to the scooter, and it should discharge at a even rate. And if this one does discharge a little bit quicker, which it shouldn't because I've done the amp, made sure there's similar amps, mix matching batteries and such. If this one discharges a little quicker, its BMS will shut off. And then once either one of them shuts off, it breaks the series link. So if this one dies first, there's no more connection to the external batteries. This one dies first, no more connection. Either one of them. So if one dies, it takes them both out. So you will get the smallest pack extra. But because it's connected into this guy, like worst case scenario, you go back onto your stock battery, and best case scenario, you get a bunch of extra range. So I've tested all this, and it works incredibly well with the skateboard. It worked really well with the unicycle. I didn't get quite as much range extra as I thought. Like my stock is 77, and I managed to get 118, which is pretty good. I was fighting a bit of a headwind, but yeah, better than nothing. And also, a lot of people were saying, oh, you should definitely do it in a backpack. So you could just get like extension cables and just hook them on just like that. Boop. and then just have the batteries in your backpack if you'd like. Personally, I think holding extra weight is unnecessary and uncomfortable in my back, so I would like the unicycle to hold it for me. But yeah, that's some long cables right there, and you could easily fit that in your backpack. So you could use something like, if you got the same voltage, use something like a Ceron battery. So if you got something that's 60 volt, or a lot of Cerons, if you get an upgrade, you'll get a 72 volt battery. So you could use that 72 volt battery on your unicycle if they're both fully charged. Just make sure those lights are green and check. You always want to check, all right? Always check. Because like, usually, worst case scenario, the BMS will be like, whoa man, and just cut out. But you know, worst case scenario, cables get crazy hot, catch fire, burn down your house, you know, explode batteries. So there is some cautions here. Don't just like connect shit and assume it's going to be fine, because it won't. I've got fuses in all of my stuff, and the BMSs have, you know, cutoffs. Same with the Ceron battery, it's got a BMS. Same with the unicycle, it's got a BMS. But lithium batteries are fucking powerful, so keep that in mind. And yeah, check the voltages. I think a pretty good rule of thumb, and what's been working for me pretty well so far, if it's within 1 volt, it should be pretty sweet. Usually they normalize, because there's only 0.5 each way. They've only got one's got to come up 0.5, one's got to come down 0.5. It's not too much. It seems pretty reasonable. Things don't seem to get warm every time I've done it. There may be a bit more leeway than 1 volt, but 1 volt's been working pretty good so far. And yeah, no warm cables or anything. So yeah, I hope that helps. Anyone wanting to do it, leave comments if you want to, and I'll try to read them when I get a chance, and make another video or something that helps. But yeah, good luck. I hope help you with some extended range. Like, subscribe, and all that jazz. You know what? I'm kind of curious. Let's see how it goes down some stairs. Please don't hurt my shins. Nice. I don't think they even moved.